Okay, and we are live. So we are recording live now, so anyone can watch us on YouTube or can join us and listen in. I see that Omar and Sandeep and Blanca and Joanna are on loop, so maybe they will join us. I'm not sure. But so what have you learned about the Little Prince so far? What do you know at all about the story?
Exactly, I'm still reading it now.
Okay, so nothing. So it's new for you.
Yes, exactly, it's new for me.
All right, so we can start even if you haven't read the book. Joanna asks, desert. How do you imagine the desert? So do you have any experience living or visiting a desert? Do you know what it's like to be on a desert?
Yes, exactly, I live in Egypt and I know how the desert is.
Okay, so you have
Yeah.
an advantage over many of us who don't. Oh, and here comes Gerard. Great.
Hello.
Hi, Gerard. Okay. So we're just starting with Joanna's first question. Oh, here comes Joanna. Yay. Hello.
Hello.
Excellent. So how do you imagine a desert? And Amir doesn't have to imagine. He can tell us. So what's it like? What's it like to be in or on near a desert? To live in or near a desert? Oh,
Yeah.
Amir, there you go. Okay, yeah.
Yes, I'm here, but I think it's a big noise here, so I mute my microphone now.
Thank
Maybe
you.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you the answer later.
Yeah. I'm hearing clearly now. I don't know about Gerard and Joanna,
Yes, me
um,
too.
but it sounds fine so far. Oh, here comes Blanca. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Holly is happy.
Yeah, I'm
So
happy to be here too.
excellent. So Amir, if you want to turn your mic on, and one of us might have to turn it off. I've heard from others using Hangouts that Google Hangout now only allows so many mics to be open at the same time, but not sure about that. But Amir was going to tell us what it's like to live near or on a desert. So you'll need to unmute your mic again, Amir. Hmm? Maybe I have to open it up. Let's see.
Who has to
Amir?
answer this question?
I was hoping Amir would. He's been cut off twice now as people join. But the mic is off, and I don't see a way to turn it on. I think he has to. Amir? Oh, sorry. No sound? I'm not sure what sorry means. And I'm anxious to hear. So does anyone else have experience living on or in a desert?
No, it's me. It's me. When I don't speak, I close the microphone.
Yeah, yours is fine, but Amir's, I'm not hearing Amir. Amir, I'm still not pronouncing his name correctly either, I don't think. Noise here, okay. We weren't hearing it before, maybe background noise there. So join us again when you can, please, with your mic. So Blanca or Joanna or Gerard, have you lived on or near or in a desert?
Me?
Okay,
Well,
go ahead, yeah.
a desert. Oh, I think it's a place very hard to live. You don't have anything there, only sad, sun. Very hot and very cold. No trees. Well, you have the oasis. What's it?
Oasis.
Oasis.
Mm-hmm.
Where you have something, but the rest is only sand. For Sunday, well, maybe Sundays is a place where I like to be, but not. I didn't like to live there. No.
So year-round, it does not appeal to you. Okay. Have you ever been, even for a day or two? Have you ever stayed overnight?
Not at the
No.
moment. No.
No.
I like.
As a child, I camped near a small desert here in the U.S. out west, but I also do not have any reality experience with deserts and camels. See, I think camels, no one's mentioned camels yet. Joanna, Gerard?
I've never had a chance
Oh,
to.
Joanna, I'm not hearing you. I see your. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Do you hear me now?
No, I hear you now. Yes.
I haven't had a chance to live on desert, even to be on the desert. So for me, it is a big and wide and long beach.
White. Oh, white. I don't picture it
Wide.
white. Oh, wide.
Wide.
Ah, good pronunciation practice. I was going to say, I don't picture deserts white. Okay, wide. Yes, wide. Yeah, and the waves, the shimmering waves as the sun glances off the sand. So you also haven't camped or stayed or traveled through a desert. Dry. Yeah.
I think is ready to talk.
Ah, yes, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, guys, as an Egyptian, I live in Egypt, and as you can know, that we have the East Desert and the West Desert in Egypt. Yes, exactly. I'm Egyptian, and as you can see here, a big space of a flat area has a lot of mountains, and you can see camels and a lot of things you can see here, and you can do. Yeah.
Are there
Yeah.
snakes in the desert?
Yes, you
Oh,
can see
yeah,
a little bit
yeah.
of snakes and yeah, some small animals like rabbits or something like that. Yes.
Wide open spaces. I would think you'd have beautiful night
Yeah.
sky watching. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You can see the sky is clear and you can see the stars on the sky.
Yeah. I have never been to Egypt. Are there camels in the cities or only outside of the
No.
city?
No, 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 exactly. It's outside the town, yeah.
I
Exactly in the
don't
desert,
know.
yeah.
Some
Yeah,
cities, the
it's a
animals are
modern.
right there with the cars, so I didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We have a
yeah.
famous cars. Yeah, we don't have camels in town. Exactly, it's in
But
desert.
in India and in Vietnam, the cattle and animals are right there in the streets with the cars and the motorbikes and the buses.
Yeah,
At least as I see on live video, this is reality. So I didn't know for um, Egyptian life. I wouldn't imagine it in a
no.
big metropolis, but in smaller towns. I meant it as a
Yes,
serious
exactly.
question. Is it only in rural areas, or are there smaller towns and small cities that might have residents with camels? I don't know. I'm
Yes, there
asking
are
an
different
honestly
kinds of cities
ignorant
here.
question. Uh,
Yeah, no problem. Okay, it's okay. We have different kinds of cities here, and we have towns on the beach or something like that in the
that's
north of
right.
Egypt.
That's right. There
Yeah.
was someone posted a picture of camels on the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Egypt, as you know, it's located in the north of Africa, between the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. But between these uh, two seas, there are different kinds of desert, as you can see here, different kinds of life and different kind of people as well.
Sure, anywhere. Um,
Yeah.
Here's a better way, maybe, to ask my question and not sound quite so stupid. But I'm curious about this. But do would most Egyptian children have firsthand experience with camels? I mean, here in the United States, many city children have never seen a cow. Is it the same in
Egypt.
Egypt? Are there many Egyptian children who have never seen a camel? Oh, did we lose connection? I don't know if we've lost connection or not. Hmm.
Mm.
And I could ask the same question from each of you for whatever animals, dairy animals or whatever animals are prevalent. Are there city children, many city children who have never seen these animals live? So see, this is to me one of the saddest things about an urbanized world. Is this lack. And so Little Prince has a lot of experiences in his little journey. But I think there's a lot of the world we don't know. And this is what I was curious about. I still see Amir's mic off, so I'm not sure. Comments? Am I the only one who thinks this way and asks these kinds of questions? I'm like a kid. Yes, Gerard.
I read a sci-fi novel that takes place in a planet that the planet is a desert. This novel is called Dune.
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 Mm-hmm.
So in the desert there are lots of dunes.
Yes, we haven't mentioned that word here. Sand dunes. Mm. Yeah.
Dune.
So do you have sand dunes on your beaches? Or are they rockier?
In my campground where I work, we have a dune.
So there is some dunes.
They
but
are
not
made
miles and miles and miles of them.
No, they are made by the wind and the sun. The sun.
And Blanca, the beaches that you travel and walk so make me so envious. Do they have a lot of dunes?
Yeah, in the beaches, sometimes I find some dunes. I think in Spain, it depends on the place, but there are a lot in the beaches. In the south, I don't know in Barcelona, but in Andalusia, in the south of Spain, there are.
Oh, we lost Amir.
I have
Hopefully he'll
seen
come
many.
back. Okay. So that's what I think of when I imagine a desert. I imagine the dunes I see at the beach, but they are near the water. And in the desert, you don't have the water. And it's hard for me to feel that difference because the beach is all about water. So,
I see the pronunciation of dune is different in British English and American. In British English, they say dune, and you say in American English dune.
Dune. To me, it's the same vowel sound as in food. Ooh, dune, food.
Dune and dune.
Okay, Joanna, you have a description on your post. The desert is imagined as a wide beach without water, with an extremely high temperature during the days and very cold nights. And you quote The Little Prince. Would you like to read your quotes?
I had only enough drinking water for 8 days.
So do you think you would take an adventure on the desert with only enough drinking water for 8 days? How heavy would that be?
It will be very, very heavy.
I'm trying to remember the images in The Little Prince. Do they show him carrying 8 days of water?
I think he had this water in his plane.
Ah, the plane could carry it easier than a person. Yeah, I wouldn't want to carry 8 days. Oh, mirage, excellent word, Gerard. Yes, the oasis is often a mirage, right? We want it to be there, but it disappears in those shimmers. Yes, definitely. And sand between your toes. Right? It's so hot. You have to wear shoes, but it burns your shoes. And there's nothing else. This sounds challenging to me. And yet, Amir, we lost him, but he made it sound like it was. Okay. The stargazing is one plus. That's a plus. But he made it sound like there are pleasanter aspects as well. I wanted to hear more.
I think the night must be nice in the desert because there are no clouds, and so you can see a lot of the stars.
Right, yeah. That sounds appealing.
Mm.
And I wonder how sounds travel. For that matter, I wonder how sounds travel on Little Prince's little planet. When you have a small planet, the sounds bounce in different ways. So as a teacher, I'm thinking of all these fun experiments you could do with a class if you were reading The Little Prince. And Joanna, you also say, want to read the rest of your post there? Please.
The whole?
The whole post? No? Too much of a post? It's a short post. He was alone with few drops of water and suddenly heard a voice.
I would be scared, but I'm also happy that someone appears and might save me.
Yeah, imagine how lonely that would be to be alone in the desert. That would really be alone. In a flat place with, huh. And then you hear a voice.
Please, throw me a sheep.
So how do you think you'd react, Gerard? You're used to traveling alone at night to check out what people are doing. So what would you do if you're in your campground and you hear someone say, "Please draw me a sheep"?
I would tell him, who is that?
Who's there, right? Look all around. I think I would be like this, and in a desert you'd be looking everywhere, right? Because where could it come from? So Joanna's got a good sense of humor, so she wants to know if it's some kind of joke. Blanca, what would you think if some voice came out of nowhere? Please draw me a sheep.
It's difficult to know because nobody asked me in exile. Normally I ask them, write something for me at the school, but in the classroom, but nobody asked me. Sometimes, anyway, I very bad when I try to do something on the how do you say? I forgot the motto now. When you are in a classroom, you write something on the.
To draw or sketch. So write on the chalkboard. So if you were sent to the board to draw a sheep, you would not be happy.
Oh, it's very difficult for me. I don't know why. I think because when I was a child, like in the book, everybody say, "Oh, you draw very bad."
Same here.
Difficult
I
for
share
me.
that experience. Maybe this is why Joanna doesn't have very many replies to her "Please draw me a sheep" post.
Maybe in the future, my grandson, but not now, at the moment.
When I think of drawing sheep, I remember classrooms where we had glue and cotton balls, and we could pull the cotton balls apart and glue them on our little sketch to make our sheep. Joanna won't laugh at you. So she has another post in the Little Prince group where she's asking people to share an image of their sketch. Yeah. My mother and two of my brothers can draw really well, so I did not grow up with much confidence in drawing and sharing anything, but I loved to doodle. And in the desert, you could doodle in the sand. Oh, you could draw in the sand. That would be fun. But where do you find a stick if there's no trees?
You may use your fingers.
Yes, yeah, but it's hot. Yeah, there probably aren't very many things to pick up. I wonder if there are now with more population and more traffic across the desert if you find garbage, litter. I wonder. Or if it's like the sea washes up things, do things end up somehow miles inland, buried in the desert sand? Please. She's repeating, please draw me asleep.
You could draw with food.
Yes, if you kept just use your shoe and not touch your toe.
But you may draw in the night.
Yeah, there you go. It gets cold at night.
Cool.
And bright moon and starlight. Sketch by starlight. Then your scribbles would look better too, maybe. This could be a solution. So your vocabulary from this short chapter 2.
Leap up. Leap up?
Leap up.
Scribble. Crater. And
Crate.
Light up.
Crate. Silent
Light
E.
up.
Crate. And light up. Yeah, Joanna lights up well.
It depends.
Yes, that's true. Not for your students all the time. Yeah, so leapt. This is one that American English often uses the British English spelling and does leapt up. So to leap up. So I leap up if I see a scorpion. I would leap up. Although where can you go in the desert, right? What do you do if you see the scorpions can move faster than you can? I have all these visions of terror in the desert. Bandits, I hear childhood stories of bandits. I have no idea if there are any still. Some places probably. I understand there are lanes, sort of like boats travel in certain lanes. I understand there are lanes across the desert. But we lost our expert, so I don't know that for sure. So we can talk more about this. If you have ideas, we can practice reading it aloud if you want to read chapter 2 aloud, or you can introduce a new topic.
I think the drawing in the Little Prince that I remember the most is the one that looks like a hat. It's a boa constrictor that has eaten an elephant.
Chapter 1, we had fun talking about that last time, last week.
I think it's very nice.
Very nice. So you like his drawing.
Yes.
So you agree has a magnificent drawing of an elephant in a snake that's not a hat.
I read more books about this writer, Saint-Exupéry, and it looks as he died in another plane shot him and fall in the Mediterranean Sea.
Someone shot him and he fell in the
Yes.
sea, so he went from the desert to the sea. So he likes to explore different climates. Do you know, I don't remember, I'm sure I knew this once, but I don't remember. Did he in reality have experience in the desert or traveling on the sea?
Yes, he was a plane traveler.
A pilot?
Yes. He worked in Argentina, in South America,
Okay.
and he pilot planes in the Second World War.
Aha. Okay, so he had lots of. Oh no, we lost her. I was going to say hello, and she left. Oh, too bad. I hope she's able to come back again. Sorry, Hadil, if you're listening. I didn't mean to ignore you. Just waiting for a moment to say hello. I hope that was a connection challenge and not a I feel neglected challenge. So you've done some research, or have you just read those books recently, or is this from memory in the past?
From memory.
Okay. I don't think I've read anything else by this author.
I read one book in Spanish and another in French. Besides the Petit Prince.
Show off. Showing off the multilingualism here.
But
yeah, sometimes I feel so ignorant. Maybe I won't feel quite so ignorant after my travels this summer. Yeah, so much of the world I would love to explore, but how do you do it without lots of bravery or money or both? So if you could explore some totally different, unfamiliar territory, what kind of a place would you choose to explore? Outer space, deserts, life on the sea, different climate, tropics. What would you choose to explore if you could? Mountains. Joanna wants the mountains. Maybe the tropics.
Yeah, but not in the hot months.
Blanca, I'm not sure how much you've traveled. Where would you explore?
I don't know, because I like to go to many places.
So you have
it's difficult sometimes because I am afraid, for example, in Africa, to go to see the animals in the place they live. But wow, when I see the things that happen there, then I don't like. But I would like to go. But I am afraid of many things.
Yeah, and there's legitimate fear in many places, and then there's another kind of fear that I struggle with, the unknown. Just a fear of the unknown sometimes is enough to stop me from taking a chance.
I think finally I prefer to go to places where the life is a little similar mine.
Okay, so staying within a certain comfort zone.
Not exactly the same, because different countries have different culture, but a little similar. The comforts, exactly. Sorry, I have some
Yes,
problems with my
yeah.
voice.
Any place. Going next door is new and different and often enlightening.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gerard, I know you've mentioned in the past that you're not a strong traveler, but if you could explore someplace different, any idea what you might choose?
Mm, maybe I'd like to visit Kenya.
Okay, similar answer to Blanca.
Mm.
For me, it's flowers. I would want to see flowers, new flowers, and I can see them anywhere, almost, I think, anywhere. I don't know if there are very many flowers on the desert. That's actually probably part of why it's not as strong on my list. There are some amazing cacti, plural of cactus, cacti. Some of them are amazing. Oh, good, she's back. Hadil, hello. Can you hear us? Can you say hello? I felt bad when we lost you last time. I'm not sure if it's a connection challenge. I hope you can hear us.
No.
No answer. Can you try to say hello?
Hello?
Yes, there she is. Hello.
Yes. Hello, how are you?
Happy to have you join us.
Yes, I'm happy too.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but I forget which country you're living in now. We've been talking a lot about deserts. Do you have any experience living near or on a desert?
Uh,
A desert? I forget where you live.
I am live in Iraq.
In Iraq, okay.
Yes.
So do you live near a desert or have you been to the desert?
Desert? I will translate it. I don't under
Okay,
what does mean.
okay. I'll give you time to look that up. I'm glad you came back to join our class.
Thank you. But where are the other members?
I'll let them say hello.
Yes.
Hello,
Blanca, yeah.
I'm Gerard.
So Gerard is here saying hello. And Blanca.
Hello.
And Joanna.
Hello.
Hello.
And I am here. Hello. Yeah. So we're talking
Yes.
about travel and deserts and flowers and animals and tropical areas and the Little Prince.
We are don't travel in another place. My family don't travel.
Okay. So
Yes.
you're like many of us, a lot of this is in our imagination, in our minds we travel, and online we travel.
We don't have a desert.
Okay, and so you haven't been to a desert. So Amir was in class earlier, and he lives in Egypt near the desert. So but we lost his connection, but he was able to share some information. But none of us have been to the desert either. So it's probably very different to live close to or on the desert.
Yes, of course. In Emirat, there is a desert. In Emirat.
Emirates.
Yes, there is a desert.
But you have not been there. Mm. So we were just talking about where we might like to travel if we could travel somewhere, what type of environment we might travel to. Joanna, you had mentioned mountains. Any particular mountain ranges that you hope to see someday?
No, I just like wandering through among mountains from time to time. So
High elevations, really, really high, snow-capped.
it depends on the weather and my health condition. I like all mountains.
And do you use the equipment? I'm forgetting all the right terms now in my. But do you
No,
use the
because
tools
I haven't been to very high mountains.
So rock cliffs, where you have a cliff like this and you climb up?
No.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I love waterfalls. And of course, the taller the waterfall, the more you climb. And fascinated by the waterfalls. I'm forgetting my geography. The huge lake in Africa, the inland, the huge lake with the really long waterfalls. Catherine, what's the name of that lake? It's got a. Anyone help me? I'm forgetting my geography. There's a huge waterfalls there that I would be interested in seeing. I'm forgetting the name. And I understand the fishing. The lake is so huge that the fishing is different. There are special fish in different sections of the lake and on either side of the waterfalls. Different populations. Nature is just fascinating. Costa Rica is a place I would like to visit someday. New Zealand. Australia, Pakistan, Laos, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay. I would like to travel. Central America. But I don't feel safe. The fear factor I think, grows as I get older. So Joanna, you're young. You need to travel for us, and Hadil, I think you're still young too. So maybe you'll travel for us.
I want to travel to all the country, to America. I want to go to the America to see America.
Come visit Holly.
Yes. Thank you. And want to go to the London.
London, yes. Yeah.
Yes, the weather it is very good there. Yes. And want to travel to another place beautiful, and want to travel to the Japan and Dubai. Yes, I wanted to travel to all the town in the world.
And cities appeal to you more than rural areas?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's a question we didn't ask. Route 66, yes. I've traveled a good part of that, but not the entire Route 66. I feel like singing now. We have songs about Route 66 across the USA, but I won't break the microphone by trying to sing. But we didn't ask that question though about cities versus small towns versus rural areas. What your preferences are. So Hadil votes for cities. I vote for small towns and rural areas. Anybody else?
About my city?
Which you would prefer? You said you prefer traveling to cities. And if I have my choice, I will avoid cities most of the time and go to smaller villages and towns and farm areas. And Joanna's using my favorite answer.
Depends.
And this is
Yes.
true.
Yes. I don't know the city, but I want to travel to. I don't have a specific city. Want to travel to it.
Anybody else? Gerard, Blanca, Joanna? No comments on that. But to bring out my Kathy's conversation cards if somebody doesn't keep us talking here. I'm going to reach for them. See, I have my trusty little box of instant conversation in the classroom. So if we have no more travel talk, oh, this is Joanna's question of the day. Look at that, the first card I picked. Let's see if you can read it. Do you use public transportation? Where do you go? Anybody?
I use rarely, a few times a year.
I think now you can go everywhere because, for example, in Spain, we have a good transportation. We can go even to Portugal, to France, to Europe, by train.
So train?
Yeah, by train. By bus is longer, but we have an AVE, is a train. The train is very fast, and you go everywhere in 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, 3 hours. It's very easy now.
Yeah, I was looking into those for my upcoming trip, and from London to Paris is so
yes.
quick now by train. That's just, for someone like me from the United States, it's just astounding how close countries are in Europe. Yeah, I'm used to 14-hour car drives, and I could see all of Europe in 14 hours. And that only gets me a few states. Yeah, and you love trains, Gerard. Tell us why you love trains.
And it's curious. I find curious that the train was so important in the United States during the 19th century, and nowadays it looks as you have forsaken it.
Trying to make a comeback, but yeah.
In Europe, I think countries invest a lot of money in train because Europe is smaller in comparison with the United States.
And that's exactly the reason why the trains didn't last, except for transporting goods, because from a car you can see so much more, and in the United States we have the land, or we used to have the land, for plenty of roads and plenty of cars. Now our highways are busier and busier, and people are not carpooling, and most people, except in certain areas, most people think that if you take public transportation, it's a sign of poverty or a sign of lower class. So this has been one of the biggest marketing challenges for any kind of public transportation other than airplanes. It's seen as a lower status, and so if you can avoid public transportation, you do. So they're trying to make pedestrians walking more. So many people will drive 2 blocks. Trying to get people to walk more, to bike more, and to use public transportation more. Now it's a positive status because it's better for the environment sometimes. Many of our buses travel and trains travel half empty, 3/4 empty, more often than they travel full. So it's a lot of pollution. Have to keep the schedule even if there's only one person. You have all of that emission of pollution. So it's a very different situation in most places in the U.S.
And the cars in the US and Europe are very different. Our cars are smaller and they expend less gas and they pollute less.
Yes. SUVs have not caught on as a popular vehicle in Europe for the most part. Do you even know what SUVs are?
It's like a caravan or like a big van.
Yeah, they're cooler than a van, right? And a van is for families, but if you don't want to be a family person, they sit up higher. They have big wheels, big tires, bigger engines. They can go off the road.
Okay, I see.
But many people buy them just to drive around the city because they're popular. But they're what we call gas hogs. They use half the gas, they double the gas of most cars and triple or quadruple the gas of economy cars. And they're more expensive to buy, and they're larger. They put out more pollution, but they are what you're supposed to buy. They're a status symbol. Blanca added a beach scene. There's some beach.
Oh, yeah.
Better than a black screen.
It's summer.
Okay. So is this right near where you live?
I lived there in the past, some years ago. It's San Sebastian, next to France. A beautiful place.
Yeah, so when you're there, or when people come there, do most people come by public transportation, or are there huge parking lots and do a lot of people drive there?
Here in Madrid, normally people use public transportation because it's very difficult to drive. A lot of cars, a lot of things in the streets and everywhere. But sometimes you have to pay. If you have your car, you have to pay when you park, and it's very expensive.
Yes. So that's the same here too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And people prefer public transport because it's cheaper. But you have trains, you have buses, a lot of things to move. I use normally public transport. My car only is for going out of Madrid, but not in Madrid, because in Madrid is too difficult to drive. And then you can find a place. If you find, you have to pay. No. The public transport, the underground or the buses are perfect for me.
Yeah, parking is definitely a factor to consider when you're traveling cities here. some cities you can get away with about $18 a day, but most are closer to $30 a day to park your car,
Yeah.
and to be close to popular destinations.
Mm.
And public transportation varies a lot, city to city. In our larger city areas, even in our larger city areas, though, many visitors are surprised at how long they have to wait for the next bus or the next train or the next subway. So how long do you usually have to wait to catch a ride on a train or a bus?
It depends on the place. In Madrid, I have the metro and the underground, and it's about 5 minutes, 3, 7. It depends on the time sometimes.
Okay.
But the train in general is 15 minutes.
Wow. Okay. So if I only had to wait 7 minutes, I would be thrilled. In the city where I live, most buses run once every 60 minutes. Oh, sorry, I spelled wrong. Once an hour. Some run every 20 minutes. Those are the good ones. We don't have any stops that are 10 minutes. 20 minutes is the shortest. I think there's one now that's 14, actually. I think I read a yay tweet about that the other day. But we're a small city here. In the larger cities, 10 minutes is more the norm. And I love, particularly Japanese, Chinese friends that I've had, they get so upset to have to wait 10 minutes. And I'm like, what? So culturally, big difference. Yeah. Halil, do you use public transportation? Hadil, sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm not sure what you would like us to call you. Do you use public transportation? Oh, maybe we don't have a connection. Not sure. Yeah, the transportation in Seoul was amazing to me. Wow, it was awesome. I could go 2 blocks by bus if I didn't want to walk, or I could almost always easily walk to metro. It's wonderful. That was an experience for me to have reliable, and they were reliable. They were on time. Many times here they're off schedule, and your 10-minute, 20-minute wait is much longer, or the buses come early or come late. So transportation is outside of the very large cities is often something people dislike about visiting the U.S. It's hard not to have a vehicle here unless you're in a major metropolitan area. It's almost a necessity to have one in the family, at least, or a friendly neighbor with a car. And where do you go? You go shopping, to work, to another town? When you do use public transportation, where do you go?
When I use a public transportation, I do it when I meet with my friends. And then in the middle of the night, I don't want to come back by my car.
Okay. So I take it when, rather than do it when. I take it when. Take public transportation when. Yes. Here, that's usually taxis, because public transportation also in the U.S. in many places it stops by 9 p.m., sometimes 10, sometimes midnight, but very rare to find transportation all night long. So different from place to place for sure. Okay, new question. What household chores did you do as a child? What were you responsible for? What did your mom and dad make you do? What do you have to do when you were a child? Dusting. Dusting. Oh, me too. Not my favorite. Gerard, what did you have to do when you were a kid?
The dishes?
Shopping.
Do the dishes?
The dishes?
Yeah.
Are you an expert dishwasher? Come visit, Gerard.
Prepare the table.
Clear the table. How about set the table?
Set the table.
Set the table as well? What other jobs?
Shopping. I did
Shopping. You got to go
Yeah.
shopping.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be a fun job. Were you able to go by yourself?
Yeah, because my mother was cooking or doing something at home, and Blanca, please, could you buy something for me? Well,
Wow. How far did you have to go to the store?
the store was very near.
So you could walk. You could walk to the
Yeah,
store
on foot, exactly.
and
But
pick something up.
few things.
Yeah. And do you remember about what age you'd be considered able to go by yourself to the store?
7,
7? Wow.
8.
That's really
Yes.
different. Really different from my experience. Anybody else ever go shopping for their parents as a chore, as an errand? No memory. Joanna?
Yes.
Yeah? Some? All right. So for me, if my mom sent me to the store to go shopping, it would mean go away and never come home. Because we lived a 20-minute drive to the nearest store. So I would never find my way on foot. I'd never be seen again. So my experience certainly different there. Now it's definitely a still. Okay, so as a big child, it is on the list of tasks for household chores now. I get to vacuum and sweep and dust and do dishes. And 3 minutes, yeah. That sounds like fun. I would love that household chore. I got to do the laundry and cook and the dishes and dust and wax the floor. I was the girl, so I had all the horrible tasks, and my brothers got to go play in the dirt and help on the farm. I was stuck inside. Your household task is to read, so that's your responsibility as a child. Oh, reading was a pleasure. But Hadil, you were assigned, told to read? We've lost your mic. It looks like it's on, but I don't hear you. Not sure what happened. We can't hear you. Huh. I would like that job too. That would work for me. Anyone have to take out the garbage or rake the yard? Do outside jobs?
In the spring and in the summer, I had to work in the garden.
And you love that, right?
Yes, of course.
And one question.
Uh-huh.
Do you have in English a special word for a garden that you have only vegetables?
Vegetable gardening. Most
Okay.
people, if you say gardening, that's what they assume is vegetable gardening. So if it's flower gardens, you'll usually specify that, or if it's a huge farm, you'd specify that as well. So when people say gardening, most people imagine outdoor vegetable gardens. Yeah.
Okay.
People who know me know that gardening has a bigger meaning, but but for most people, they picture a small vegetable garden. Weeding, they imagine you doing lots of weeding and watering. Yeah. So we're down to our last minute. Any other exciting household jobs, outside jobs, inside jobs? What did you have to do as a kid? Did you get paid for it? I want to know. We're out of time, but I want to know. Did you get paid for it?
No.
No.
No. No one grew up with a big allowance. Or did you get your allowance whether or not you did any job?
No.
No? Usually when I start this conversation, somebody comes in and said they got $20 a week, or I'm like, wow. But I didn't either. We would get $5 in my later years. We would get $5 before a trip, before a vacation. Maybe we'd have spending money that we were allowed to spend any way we wanted. My mother usually did not like how I spent mine. But it was my money. Chapter 3, Joanna. What do we need to know about Chapter 3 for next week?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, she doesn't know. I caught her off guard. Next week we'll start the hangout with Chapter 3 of The Little Prince. Any other last comments before we close today? Give Joanna time to look things up.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the chapter 3.
Yeah, it's a busy group. You put a lot of posts in there. So hopefully someone will draw you a sheep before next week. So our homework is to draw a sheep and post a sheep. Post a sheep on loop. Find it yet? Okay, there's Chapter 3. All right, thank you. So we can all read Chapter 3 and be ready for whatever interesting conversations that brings up. Lana, and I would love it if you would post a reply in the Little Prince book group.
Okay.
And get some more conversation going there. All right, well, if no one else has brilliant last words, we will say goodbye till next time. Enjoy the beach. All right, bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.